say there's no place like home. Just keep saying it over and over, and I'll tell you when to stop.
There's no place like home. 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 There's no place like home.
Eleanor, we are home. This is our backyard. On this wonderful episode of John Gets Lit, we're here talking about The Wizard of Oz with Eleanor Campbell. Eleanor, how do I know you?
I'm Eleanor. I'm your daughter.
You're my daughter?
Yes.
How old are you?
1.
Okay. So, you're about 3.5 years old, right?
No, I'm 4.5 years old. Soon.
You'll be 4 soon, yeah. And we just got through reading The Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
Do you like The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Is it your favorite book?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And Alice in Wonderland, but I just don't really read it anymore.
Okay. We want to explain to people what The Wizard of Oz is about. So who's the main character?
Dorothy.
Dorothy?
Yeah.
Okay. And what happens to her?
She gets sucked up into this. She gets sucked up into the Wizard of Oz.
She gets sucked up into the land of Oz, yeah?
Yeah.
And what does she see when she gets there? What happens to her house?
It falls on the Wicked Witch of the East.
Oh, it falls on her?
I mean,
And then
the
it crushes her?
Wicked Witch of the West.
No, you got it right. It's the East.
Oh.
And then Dorothy gets her magic slippers, right?
From the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay. And Dorothy gets her slippers. In the movie, the slippers are red, but what color are they in the book?
Silver.
They're silver, right? So the books can be different than movies. A little bit? Okay. So then after she gets the ruby slippers, who tells her what to do, where to go? Do you remember who she meets when she first gets there?
The Munchkins.
The Munchkins, and who?
The Good Witch.
The Good Witch, right? And what did they tell her? They tell her if she wants to go home, who does she have to see?
Wizard of Oz?
The Wizard of Oz, right? And how does she get there? What does she have to follow?
The crafts. That is the yellow brick road.
The yellow brick road, right? So, who was the first person she met?
The Scarecrow.
She met the Scarecrow?
Yeah.
And what did the Scarecrow need?
He needed a brain.
He needed a brain. He said he was a fool and he was silly. And that's pretty much the same from the movie and the book, right? It's not very different. And then who do they meet next?
The Tin Man.
The Tin Man. And what is he missing?
He is missing a heart.
And they find him, he's like stuck in the forest. What do they have to do? Do you remember?
They have to fix him.
They have to get like an oil can and fix him? So then who do they meet next? They're walking through the forest and they hear a loud roar.
As the Cowardly Lion.
The Cowardly Lion. But at first he's being really mean, isn't he? He's chasing after Toto. And he's trying to act like a tough lion, but then what happens?
He popped him.
Who popped him?
Dorothy.
Dorothy popped him?
Yeah.
And what did he do? He just started crying, right? And so then they found out that he was a cowardly lion. So what did he want? He wanted to get some courage. And so then here's where the book is different than the movie, because in the movie, did they run into any monsters?
No.
No, but in the book, they run into the Khalida. Do you remember what that is?
It's a bear.
It's a bear.
With a tiger's body.
Sit down, sit down. It's a bear with a tiger's head, right? And they have to run away, and the woodsman has to cut down a tree so they can get across a big ravine. And then right when the Khalida is about to cross the tree, what does the Tin Woodsman do?
Knock his axe.
He knocks his axe and he knocks the tree down.
And he knocks his axe.
Yeah. So they get to the Emerald City where the wizard stays, and is the Wizard of Oz very nice to them? Yeah. Is he nice to them?
No.
No?
He's mean.
What does he say to them? They ask him for a heart and a brain and courage, and Dorothy asks if she can go home, and then what does the wizard say to them?
No.
And he tells them they have to go and kill the Wicked Witch of the West if they want to get what they are asking for. So she calls birds, and she calls wolves, and she calls bees, and she does all kinds of crazy stuff. And then she gets the flying monkeys to come, and the flying monkeys take Dorothy. But then how does Dorothy defeat the witch?
Throw the bucket of water and melt the witch.
She throws.
Watch out! The melt.
And then they go back to the Wizard of Oz. And is he happy to see them? No. For some reason, he doesn't want to see them.
Why?
I don't know. Do you remember? Well, remember they march into his throne room and they tell him, "We killed the witch. Now you better give us what we asked for." And what does he say?
No.
He says he can't give it to them. And then, who knocks over that screen?
Dodo knocked on the screen. And he found the real guy.
And what was he? Was he a wizard or was he just a normal guy?
He's just a normal guy.
He's a normal guy.
Yeah.
So he couldn't really give them what they wanted. So he basically tells the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion that they've already had what they wanted all along. Right? The Scarecrow was already smart. The Tin Man already had a heart. And the Lion was clearly had courage because he went and saved Dorothy, right? So maybe it's trying to say that the things that we're seeking outside of ourselves are always just inside of us all along.
But they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. Was there ever a time that you were like, I can't do this, but then you tried it and you did it, and you found out that you could do it?
Last time I didn't do the rock wall, but I still did it.
You didn't think you could do the rock wall?
No.
But then you did it. And so sometimes we have to go out and experience things and grow, and then we discover that we have the ability inside of us. Who's your favorite character in the whole story?
Tin Man!
Why do you like the Tin Man so much?
Because he made us a tin and he have an axe and he beat me.
You like a character that's really strong that can fight for other characters?
Yeah, like the Tin Man.
So what is your favorite part of Wizard of Oz?
When they beat the Wicked Witch.
When they beat the Wicked Witch, when Dorothy throws the water on her?
Yeah.
And in the movie, it's really dramatic, right? She's like, "Oh, what a world, what a world." Right?
Oh, what a world, oh, what a world.
So what do you think about
Come here.
what do you think about some of the deeper meanings in the book about capitalism, how the yellow brick road might have meant something about the gold standard, and her silver shoes had something to do with silver? What do you think about the wizard not being actually powerful? He's just he's behind a curtain, which again has some meaning about capitalism and money. And the whole city is green. And when you go in the city in the book, they make you wear goggles that make the whole city look green. Everything looks green even if it's not green. And I think that, again, is making a statement about capitalism, about how we value money and how we give it a lot of power even though it doesn't have power. Why would somebody want to read this book? Why would another little kid want to read this book? Why would you tell another little kid to read this book?
Because they don't want, I think a different kid doesn't know this book, so I'm telling them to read it.
So, but why should they read it? What could you tell them to make them think they should read it?
Just that it's so cool and I want to make other kids read it.
Well, Eleanor Campbell, thank you for doing a discussion with me today on your favorite book, Wizard of Oz. Do you think that we did our best?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Eleanor Campbell, thank you for discussing Wizard of Oz with me today, your favorite book.
Yeah.
Do you think that we did our best?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you think this is going to turn out pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say before we get off camera? What do you want to tell people?
That Wizard of Oz is cool.
Wizard of Oz is cool?
Wizard of Oz is cool.
All right.
I said it to the camera.
Good. You did a good job. All right. How old are you really?
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Eleanor, we're going to have to stop if you can't do this.
Um,
Eleanor, how old are you?
but looking at the leaves, I just don't know how old I am. Last time I rang Wizard of Oz, I took a book and started saying a story word. I thought he took the wizard's head and put the wizard back.
Wait,
I
what?
kept saying that over and over and over when I had the book in my lap and I was reading. I didn't know what it said.
Yeah.
I kept saying he got the wizard's head and put the wizard back.
Who's your favorite character in the whole story?
Tin Man!